What's up, guys? This is Eric at SideQuest Comics, and I have a new video project here. I kind of teased and hinted at this for a while, and as I'm kind of jumping in front of you, I have my guest, my wife, who's coming on to actually do this project with me.
Yes.
This is something I've had in my mind for a while, but introduce Mary. Say hello, Mary.
Well, hello there.
I actually convinced her to come on and help me with this project. Like I said, it's something I've had in mind for a while, something I want to do. But I got a big old box here full of some comic books. And what this basically is it's going to be kind of a new series of, I'm going to try and keep them short, but you know me, I like to rattle on. But I'm going to call it Who Dat? And
Who Dat?
Who Dat is what I am doing is a lot of us that are, I would say 80s kids grew up with Marvel and DC did these things that were little guidebooks to characters in the comics. So I've been getting a bunch of these Who's Who from DC with, this one's called the Definitive Directory of DC Universe.
It's very official.
And then also, this is the one I grew up with, but it is the Marvel Universe official handbook of the Marvel Universe. This is deluxe edition. Now, there is another volume that's before this that was the early 80s. I don't have any of those ones. But what I thought, since I had so many of these, and this was like a big part of my childhood of getting to know the characters in Marvel Universe, and you not really knowing anything other than what's pop culture, I kind of thought it would be fun to mash up these two things and see what happens, basically. Let me dig out some of these. So, yeah, and I also have the Marvel Universe Update. I featured some of these recently, Update 89. So there's like 8 issues of this. I think the deluxe edition, there was 20 issues with a couple of like the characters that were dead. So I want to pull these out here and get this big old box out of the way. And my idea was to actually randomly pick one of these and pick out a character randomly, and we'll just talk about them. Some of them I kind of know. Some of them I may not know very, much. So it's kind of like a refresher for me, really. For you, it may be totally new, and I just want to see what your reactions are. You asked me, what is this about? I said, I kind of want to... kind of like a reaction video just to see what you think of these characters. But today we're going to focus on just Marvel, I think. So, okay, ready to see this stack here? So here's a big stack of Marvel Universe guidebooks. Why don't you reach in there? Or do you want to start with one, or should we just randomly pick one?
Just randomly pick.
All right, grab one out of those big old stacks. All right. So now what we're going to do is, what issue is that for the Marvel Universe? You read it out.
The official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Update 89.
Oh, you pulled out one of the update ones. Okay.
Number 4.
So this is number 4. This was out of 8. This came out 89. This basically was just like an update to some of the, the long-standing series. They're newer characters. There's a lot of new characters that came out at that time.
Okay.
So...
I don't know a single character.
A single one looking
well,
at this,
I'm looking okay.
So you know what I'm going to do too, is you guys, is I'm going to change us over to like a pop-up video. And that way I can put some artwork on the screen for you guys to look at. So yeah, she's looking at this. I'm going to pop up like a scan or I think a snapshot or something of this. And then you guys can see what she's reacting to, really. Come on, there's got to be one character you recognize on there. I mean, here, let me show everybody. I'll pop it up, but I'm just going to throw it up too. Right on the bat. I mean, I do like these covers with the big old pictures. Really? There's not one person.
Well, this guy looks like the Human Furnace.
Human Furnace. New character right there, guys. That might be the Human Torch.
All right. Well.
But you don't recognize right here. I mean, I know you know the movies.
Is it Iron Man?
That is Iron Man. It's probably a new stealth suit or something suit or mock this suit or
I am Iron Man.
yes. So what I want to do is I don't know if I was going to have you flip through and grab one. You want me to flip it?
You flip. You quiz me.
Okay. Well, I kind of want you to do it though. And now, actually, what I'm thinking about doing, because I want you guys to see what we're talking about, but us be able to actually see it and read through it and stuff. I'm going to pop up video, little pictures and stills and stuff. I might do some animation to it, but we'll see. This is going to be kind of a work in progress since this is the first one. Just why are you looking? Just randomly pick one. She's scared.
A little bit. Well, that doesn't work.
Okay. Good. Maybe flip a page backwards or forward if it comes to something like that. What are you going with? This guy?
Kubik.
Okay, so Kubik right there. If you guys can see it, I'll put up a picture like I said. So Kubik. Let's do this so we can see him.
I'm digging the shoulder pads.
So he's got some pretty cool shoulder pads. I don't know what he's got, a Rubik's cube. Right there, Kubik. And maybe that's why his name is that. He's got the Rubik's cube in the middle. So what do you think of this guy? Do you think he's like a villain, a hero? Just looking at him.
I'm thinking villain.
Villain? Okay. He looks like he needs a sandwich.
But he looks like he's very much brain power. Because look at the size of his forehead.
Yeah, he does have brain power. He's got something going on. There's like pistons or something sparking.
He's thinking. I got an idea.
Yeah. So Kubik, he's a sentient, boy, these are hard to read. These are so old. Entity that is one of the most powerful living beings in the known universe, and that formerly existed in the form of a cosmic cube. I wonder if that's something they based the movies on. You know, they had that little cube going through the Marvel movies, the Infinity, up to the Infinity War, and
don't know.
You don't remember that? Loki was chasing the cube. It was part of his staff for a while, and I don't know.
No, but say I was thinking more. Don't get after me on this one. I was thinking Star Trek and the Borg cube.
Okay.
Alien.
Different universe. Alien, yes.
A way different universe, but at least I'm surprised I knew that.
Okay, so here you go. We kind of paused a little bit to review a little bit because even I am not familiar with this character. It's the cosmic character, which basically I know Silver Surfer. I know the Skrulls. I know the basics.
So I stumped you.
So you picked out of the first ones to pick. You picked a guy that in the book has 5 pages of backstory. And just reviewing it a little bit and going over it, I got the gist of him. So basically, this guy is not a guy at first. He starts off as a form of energy that's created by this race called the Beyonders. Some of you guys know the Beyonders from Marvel series Secret Wars. And it's a race that's in another dimension. They like to come to our dimension and basically mess with us. Throw us curveballs, study us to see what happens. That's what Kubik is. He's a form of energy that comes to our dimension in a form of a cube. Okay.
So am I like a Kubik because I mess with you?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know if I can harness your energy like some people do with Kubik. So his origin starts with the Skrulls. So ancient Skrulls, the Emperor, they spent like millennia trying to figure out how to harness his power for their empire's advancement and conquering and blah, blah, blah. You guys that know the Skrulls know that they aren't the most nicest race in the galaxies. And over time, what's neat about the Kubik is he does start to develop he becomes a sentient being. So he starts taking on the traits and personalities of the ones around him that have access to him and touch him and are basically have that firsthand experience with him. And unfortunately, in this case, it's a Skrull. So he started becoming self-aware, making his own decisions, and he started turning things against the Skrulls to the point that he started destroying worlds in their galaxies that they, of their empire, to the point that he forced them into, they lost their technologies and stuff where they became barbaric again. So they de-evolved basically. And now there's a lot of other stuff in there where he's got ties with AIM, Captain America and stuff like that. And in this, it actually says, okay, so his first appearance as the Cosmic Cube was in Tales of Suspense 79. And I'll look up, see what date that was. I'm thinking that's 60s probably. And then as Cubic, he was in the Avengers 289. That's fairly recent, 80s, I think. And his origin was featured in Captain America Annual number 7. I'm assuming that's volume 1. So if you guys want to look into him, and this is the nice thing about modern age with wikis and the internet, is if you guys want to look up Cubic and read more into him, like I said, there's 5 pages in here that we were not expecting to read. So I think that's the gist of him. I mean, overall, what do you think of this being? We kind of gave your first impressions, but now that you know a little bit about his story, what do you think of Cubic?
Well, first impression is his outfit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging the green onesie, but not really.
The green onesie. I mean, that's the 60s, right? You did mention Star Trek. This looks like somebody that would be on the original Star Trek to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Captain Kirk trying to, Captain Kirk was
I can see that.
Banging everything and everybody and every race and
this guy's not my type.
But what do you think now after hearing about his a little bit of his backstory? I don't know if you could call him a him, because he's kind of an it, right?
Yeah. Well, I would like to be a fly on the wall and watch him mess with people. It would probably bring me joy to see people.
With him, or are you talking about the Beyonders messing with people?
Well, doesn't he mess with people?
No, he actually he's a form of energy that kind of takes on whatever he's around. That's what's scary to me about this guy is like, first case scenario, he's with the Skrulls. The Skrulls basically live to conquer. That's what they do. They're kind of a warring, alien race. Well, they get a hold of this massive power source thinking they could use it, and they inadvertently influence him. So he kind of becomes like them, but worse because he does have access to that power. It's him, to the point that he starts acting like they do and destroying stuff. But in the same sense, the flip side is, say he gets in the hands of like Captain America, which we mentioned in here, and he starts taking on those traits of, the Boy Scout Captain America, that's
very unpredictable then.
Yeah, it's an unpredictable energy source that's interesting for storytelling. We talk about characters, what makes an interesting character. And that's the other reason I wanted to do this, is to look into these characters and what makes them interesting or not, type of thing. This is the type of character that he's so broad range that you can make some pretty interesting stories with him.
So you cannot answer the question, is he good or villain?
Not really. It's like
it depends on the story itself.
How is he influenced? Now, is his creators villains? In the same sense of maybe a scientist studying ants or animals. The Beyonders
kind of more like a manipulator.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like they like to stir stuff up. Now, are they evil? I don't think they're evil, but they think they're above, our dimension, people from our dimension, because they're not gods, but they're way up of that level of messing around with stuff and power. Yeah. So those are ones that it's like, okay, they might be evil, but are they really?
Because they're still scary.
They're just scientists studying. We're just, the ants in the aquarium, basically, to them.
The experiment.
Yeah. But anyway, overall, last thoughts on Kubrick. What do you think? If this guy was in a story, would you be interested in reading that story? I mean, I know you're not a comic person. You like the indies, you like the horror stories, but superhero world, is this a character that just off the bat, because you don't know, is that something that would be interesting?
It would get my interest more on the bad side to see him messing with people.
The unpredictability,
and just the manipulation of the environment.
I mean, I'd be curious that if the heroes, whoever's in the story, can appeal to his, I guess it'd be better side, if there is a better side, because it depends how would this energy source be influenced. Now, going over his long 5-page history, it seems like he's the only one in our dimension at this time. There may have been others at different time periods,
or others assigned to different dimensions.
Other dimensions. But this was just the one that, the Marvel Universe knows of, that has experienced. Unfortunately, his influence is the Skrulls. But yeah, I'd be curious to just see what happens. I mean, I'm looking at some of these pictures from the guidebook here, is that he looks like he's straight up a bad dude.
And see, I don't think it would interest me to see him on the good side.
Because it's almost like that's the thing that makes these stories interesting, right? Is the good kind of overcoming that overwhelming challenge of something, whether it's evil or just a challenge in general. And this guy would be a pretty big challenge to overcome. But granted, with those ties to the Beyonder, they've done it before. That's why they had Secret Wars 1, 2. I think the Beyonder's been in other storylines where they've outwitted them or somehow. So yeah, it can be done, right? It's just, you got characters like Captain America and Tony Stark, whose ego I think is bigger than him, and so who knows what the Marvel superheroes can do. But we wanted to keep this a short one. This was going to be a series where we did some short little looks at the characters from Marvel Universe and the who's who. So that is your first Who Dat for us. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, give us a like, a follow, subscribe. Make sure you do that, and comment down below what you guys think of these characters that we're talking about. And this one, Kubrick, do you guys know about this character? Did we miss something? Fill us in, because like I said, it was 5 pages and I skimmed through it really quick with a quick pause, and because I wasn't familiar with the character myself. And oh boy. So this is the kind of unpredictable thing that we want to do with these. So let us know what you think. And until next time, guys, when you're reading, whether it's a wiki or maybe actually doing an old-fashioned paper copy and reading about these characters, happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time, guys.